Hey, it's Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and I got a very special video for you guys that enjoy pinball tonight. Farsight Studios released the Star Trek table for its arcade this week, so I'm going to be showing some footage for that. And I also have a lot to say about this pinball arcade game itself, and also about the real-life Star Trek table that I'm going to be showing in this video, which I have to give a special thanks to Bill for allowing us to come over and record a little footage of this table. Now, after playing both the real-life version and the video game version today, I'll have to say the real thing is a lot more fun, hands down, than the pinball arcade version that I picked up out of the PlayStation Store tonight. Now, for those of you that are subscribed to my channel and you followed along with any of my Zen Pinball 2 coverage, you probably already know by now that I absolutely love video game pinball and even playing on the real tables now and then, which I've covered every table that Zen Studios has released for the PS3, the most recent being 3 weeks back when they released the Star Wars table, which was one of, if not the best expansion that they've put out. But I stopped covering Pinball Arcade after the original 4 tables released last April, and there's 2 reasons for that. Number one, I just don't like the real physics of pinball in the video game format. It's just not as fun as the real thing, and it's also not as fun as the more arcade style that Zen Studios does. I can play just about any table that Zen puts into the PlayStation Store for the very first time and keep the ball going for several minutes. In fact, the first time I played the Plants vs. Zombie table, I was 30 minutes into my first game on ball 2 and had to quick save and exit because I kept the ball rolling so long and I was ready to just take a break. On just about any of these pinball arcade tables, I struggled to keep the ball and play more than 30 seconds to a minute. In fact, the Star Wars table, I would continuously lose the ball down the left or right side, sometimes without ever even hitting it once with the flippers. And when I was playing the real table tonight, I think I saw that happen maybe once. So I'm not sure why it's so much more difficult to keep the ball in play on the video game compared to the real life table. It's even more baffling because I'm actually really good at the Zen tables and just can't get anything going on these. So that's reason number one that I stopped covering the pinball arcade releases. Reason number two, which is actually probably more important, is the game add-ons have been just an absolute train wreck trying to get them to work. Back when the Funhouse table expansion released, I did buy that out of the PlayStation Store, and it absolutely just would not install to the PS3. The download itself was supposed to be for the Vita and the PS3, but for some reason it would only download the Vita version. There was 2 versions in the PlayStation Store, and they were both for the Vita for some reason. So I called Sony and had them issue me a refund for it because they couldn't get it to work that day. Then tonight it took every bit of patience that I had to get this Star Trek table to install and work. When I cut the game on tonight for the first time in several months, there was a patch sitting there waiting for me, and at first I couldn't even get the patch to download and install. It took several attempts. Then once I got the patch installed, the game just absolutely would not boot up. I think I made some people mad on my PS3 friends list because every time that I tried booting the game up, it would lock up my PS3. So I had to delete the entire game, reinstall all of it. I tried playing it without the patch, and the new tables wouldn't show up. So I had to install the patch, finally got it to work. But I've never had so many issues just trying to install and play any other game out of the PlayStation Store, and I've downloaded a lot of games out of there. And I actually did some research on this matter. I checked on Sony's technical support forum and also on the PS3 trophy site that I visit sometimes, and on both sites there were just tons of posts from people upset because of all the technical issues with the add-ons not working. So I'm not sure what Farsight Studios is doing, but they definitely need to get that cleaned up, get their stuff together, because releasing add-ons that don't work just doesn't make any sense. But about the comparison between the video game version and the real-life table, they're spot-on identical. Now, the guy that owns this table that I'm showing here actually swapped out the backing that originally had the Star Trek crew going across it with the Star Trek ship, and I think he changed out some of the lights on the table itself, but other than that it looks just like the video game version. So that was really cool, just being able to see it up close. But it's a lot harder to record a pinball table than what I first thought. I actually had a tripod that stands about 5 feet up, and I had to prop it onto a chair to get it about 7 feet off the ground, and the footage still didn't come out exactly like I wanted it to. But this won't be something that I'm going to do on a regular basis, so not a big deal. But as far as a recommendation, if you have a few $1,000s laying around your house in a spare game room, then definitely pick up the real version of this table. If not, then I guess you're going to have to settle for the video game table and just hope that it installs and works. And yes, that was a bit of a joke. Maybe one day when ReviewZoneHD starts making the serious cabbage, I'll have my own pinball arcade room to show to you guys. But until then, you'll just have to suffer through my poor commentary and video game footage. Now, this guy actually owned one other table, which just so happens to be the Twilight Zone, and that's actually in the Pinball arcade. What are the chances of that? That's pretty cool. But I did record that table as well. He also opened up the back of it, showed some of the lighting and the circuits for it. So I'm going to be uploading that video a little later this week, showing that to you guys for those that are interested. Anyways, that's pretty much all the commentary I have for this video. This is Zero at ReviewZoneHD, and thanks for stopping by.